I'm excited today because I get to talk about an amazing musician, Kenny Burke, singer, songwriter, producer, and multi-instrumentalist. Born in Chicago, Illinois, his professional career began with his family band, the Five Stairsteps. Maybe you remember their hit song from 1970, where he sang and played bass.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier.
After the Stairsteps, Kenny Burke became an in-demand session guitarist and bassist, cutting tracks with the likes of Curtis Mayfield, Bill Withers, and Billy Preston, among others. He started to make solo albums in 1977, but it was his third one, 1982's Changes, that would make him an R&B hero. Now, if you play bass, you better know about track 1. It was a minor dance hit in '82, and the man can play. But it was track number 8 that would cement his legacy.
I know we're doing.
Co-written by Burke with Alan Felder, who also wrote for the Delphonics, the Tramps, and the Whispers, and Norma Jean Wright, who was one of Chic's female singers. It is his most successful solo hit, and this bouncy groove would go on to become his signature song. And there are so many things about this that make it so good. For starters, the great Steve Ferrone on drums. And that bass line is a classic and not easy to play either. When you hear the bass soloed, it almost sounds like he's playing straight 16th notes at times. The space is telling us everything, along with a couple of well-placed syncopated notes and an almost percussive approach. To date, this bass line's been sampled over 100 times and counting, including tracks by Dougie Fresh, LL Cool J, Pete Rock and CL Smooth, and Mad Lib. But maybe the most famous instance of this song being borrowed was that same year when Rick James was producing a song for his female group, the Mary Jane Girls. His version is a great line that really sounds like a variation on Kenny Burke's. And I'm 99% sure it was played by Alan McGreer, who's on all those Tina Marie records. He's amazing. The similarities are mind-boggling though. They're both in the same key and they both use the same notes. With the same 2 chords underneath. Both are a very similar tempo. And they both include a flute melody being played on top. It's an early example of interpolation. But how in the world did this happen? I was lucky enough to find a recent Kenny Burke interview where he explained it all.
I was in Philadelphia at Sigma Sound Studios recording it, and Rick James did the arena there. So my partner at the time, Chappie Johnson, he and Rick were friends from the Motown days. He jumps in the limo, and he thought it was a good idea to share with Rick what we were doing. He played Rising to the Top.
Basically, the copyright law in 1983, based more on melodies than bass lines, allowed Rick James to steal this groove. No permission, no songwriting credit.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
It wasn't until the rise of hip hop and sampling over the next decade that the laws would change to protect cases like this one. And although no litigation was involved as far as I know, it was a classic case of I know that you know that I know. All Night Long charted in the UK and the US and ended up being one of the biggest songs by the Mary Jane Girls. But the group inevitably hit a ceiling and disbanded 4 years later in 1987 after only 2 albums. Rick James passed away in 2004 at the age of 56. Rising to the Top, however, became an anthem for many, and Kenny Burke went on to work with artists like the Jones Girls, Peabo Bryson, and Keith Sweat. And to his credit, he has taken this entire incident in stride.
Sometimes it's not necessary to make a fuss over something when you know that you inspired someone and they know that you inspired them.
And he's still making music. He's still out there performing and still singing this timeless song. So go and check him out.